Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling good, and if you're not, hopefully today's episode will just bring you a bit of joy, a bit of peace, a bit of good vibe energy, because that is what we want, especially when all we're getting at the moment is quite literally September weather. And I'm hoping that this is gonna flip on its head and we'll hit August and it will be sunny and nice, but unfortunately we have to work with what we've got, and this is classic English weather, right? I feel like we get into our heads a little bit and we're like, oh my god, it must be sunny, it's summer. But we do live in the UK. Well, you might not be listening from the UK, you might be listening from somewhere where it's actually warm, but in the UK this is normal for summer. I don't know why we think it's ever not going to be like this. We always think it's going to be hot and sunny, and we live in the UK. I don't know what we expect. But you know what? We're making the most of it. We'll roll with it. I don't mind it too much. It means at least I'm not sweating while I'm trying to sleep. So, I mean, that's a positive. But you know what got me thinking? What got me thinking was the podcast episode that I did called Hot Girl Summer. And I spoke a lot about being single. And I shared some clips on TikTok, and there was a lot of comments. They blew up a little bit, and I was like, whoa, wasn't expecting this. Because when I talk about being single, I basically, you know, I'm only ever speaking to people who aren't single, because a lot of the people I know are in relationships. And they can't quite relate to the feeling of being the only single person. It's very hard to relate when you're not that person. And it can be kind of a bit crap, you know, when you see other people happy in their relationships, or like, oh, it's going so well with so-and-so, and they're hanging out with other couples, and you hear about other things they're doing with other couples, and you think, okay, well, that's me out of the occasion. But I wanted to talk today about the positives of being single, because a lot of the comments on those TikToks were swayed in a slight negative outlook of it. A lot of people related, and for me that was really nice, because I do sometimes feel a little bit lonely and a bit crap about it, because it really is hard when you're the only single person. And not that I'm mad about being single, but it is just hard when you see every single person around you happy in like something that you would love to have. But I think that some of the comments on those TikToks were very much like, oh, I feel like this, like I'm looking at it in a slightly negative way. Now, not everyone, and I'm not saying all of you are looking at it in a negative way at all, but I do think that sometimes when we think about single, we see it as a negative. And I think that's because society has made us believe that if you're single, it's a negative thing. You should always look to find the person you want to be with. And you know what? Sometimes life doesn't work that way. Sometimes you don't find the person you need. Sometimes you need time alone. Some people are just meant to be with people constantly, and some people are meant to find their own selves and have their own journey before they meet the person that they're supposed to be with. And often we kind of take for granted this time of being alone and being single, and it's kind of deemed as something that, you know, is wrong, because we don't enjoy, like, it's wrong to, not wrong to be single, that's the wrong way of putting it. It's like seemed as like a less, you don't seem like you've made it, your life's not progressing if you're single. But actually there's so much to come from being single. And I recently was having a conversation with someone. I was like, oh yeah, I've been single for almost 3 years. And she was like, what? And she'd been like with someone for a while, broken up with them, and a year later met someone. And it's so weird, because I often think to myself, well, why hasn't that happened to me? But I actually genuinely believe that the reason why I have had to be single for a long time is because I've had to do a lot of growth and a lot of like understanding myself. Because when I was last single, I was 21, 22, and that period of my life, when you're 21, 22, life is vastly different. I was fresh out of uni. Like, I didn't really have many cares in the world at this point. And, you know, all I cared about at the time was trying to find a boyfriend. That was like my sole purpose in life. I don't know why. Even though I was trying to find a job at the same time, but that wasn't really working. So my other sole purpose was finding a boyfriend. And I did find one in the end. And we were together for 3 years. But in those 3 years, I didn't really grow it as a person. I was trying to find the perfect job. Like my focus was, I needed the right job. I need to get there. And like, that was it. I didn't really think about anything else. I didn't think about, like, I really didn't look at the bigger picture. I was going through a lot of anxiety at this time. And then when I became single, it was during the pandemic. So that pushed everything back. But then also, I had to go through a lot of other things to get to the person I am now. So I'm actually not mad about the fact I've been single for quite a while. I don't mind being single. I've always said this. I'm actually quite good at being single. When I was at uni, I was single the whole time. So I did have fun whilst I was at uni, and I, got with guys and whatnot, but I was single the whole time. So I just had a great time. I didn't really think about anything. And I think that whilst being single can have its low moments, it has so many positives. So many positives. And I thought we could talk about them because I want you guys who are single, who are listening, who've tapped onto this and you thought, do you know what? Yeah, this sounds like something I want to listen to. I want to feel a bit more positive about it. Hopefully these things will then make you guys feel better and make you see the positives and make you feel like, okay, actually this is a really good thing, because I'm talking from someone who's currently single, has been single for a while, and I have like developed so much as a person in the years that I've been single, like compared to the years that I wasn't single, but I was a lot younger. So I feel like there's a lot of difference. And I also find, before I get into the things that are great about being single, there's a lot of pressure, especially if you're a female, about needing to be in a relationship to have babies and whatnot, which is also quite a difficult thing to get your head around and not stress out about. But I think that we're living in a world now where you can have children a little bit later. You don't need to have kids like bang on 30. And also just live your life how it's supposed to. Like, everything will work out how it's supposed to. So try, when you are single, if you've just recently become single, if you're single for a long time, just remember this is how life is supposed to be. Because if you weren't able to deal with this challenge, if you weren't able to tackle it, you wouldn't be going through it. Things don't just happen because, like, if you're not capable of dealing with being single, you wouldn't be single. You would be with someone. But a lot of us who are single, we're looking for someone who, fits all of the different things that we want, and we're not going to settle for anything less. So that's why we are still single, but that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. So let's talk about things. Let's talk about what's so great about being single. There are so many things. They all kind of intertwine into one. So I'm going to try and not repeat myself here. Try my best anyway. Very easy to repeat myself. But we're going to start off with the fact that it gives you a chance to figure out what you want from life. Being single means you literally have all the time in the world for yourself. You have so much time to figure out what you want, where you want to go, if you want to go traveling, if you want to live on your own, if you want to move city. You can literally do whatever you want because there's nothing tying you back. There's nothing holding you back to one particular place. And I think that this time, that when you are single, gives you so much time to really think about everything. Do you want to live in this city? I wouldn't have moved to London if I hadn't have broken up with my ex. I would have stayed probably in the town that I'm from. I'm from Cambridge. Probably would have stayed there. I probably wouldn't have moved to London. I probably would have looked to live there. And that is mad to me because I can't see myself living anywhere else but London right now. So in a way, I'm glad that happened because, I am very glad it happened. I would not be here if it didn't. But I moved to London. That was my choice. I had that freedom. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to do it. And then I had the freedom to live alone. And I have that opportunity to live alone. And from my personal opinion and from other people I've spoken to who have lived alone, a lot of them have said you should live alone at some point in your life. And I 100% agree. You learn a lot about yourself when you live alone. And I'm alone and single. So there is only me to worry about. I'm not worrying about who's coming into my flat. I'm not worrying about, who's staying over, if there's space for them, etc. Everything in this flat is mine and I'm on my own. And obviously that's a thing that you can only do if you have the funds to do so. So I'm not saying if you don't have the funds, don't do it. But if you get the opportunity and you have the chance to do it, I recommend, because it does give you a chance to really think about life in a bigger picture. Like, how am I tackling life fully on my own? Like, I am fully on my own. I can bring people into my flat and I can have people around and I can date and whatnot. But like, when you're fully on your own living life, what are you doing with your evenings? Are you cooking? Are you like, what are you doing to fill your time when you're fully alone? But it's not just about living alone. It's about anything you want to do, whether that's going to uni, whether that's finding a new job, whether maybe your job, there's a potential for a job to be overseas. Maybe your job could take you to New York for a year. That's something you probably couldn't do if you were in a relationship, because you'd have more like, you'd have more things that were making you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't do it because I want to be with him or her. I want to stay here for them. But actually, like, when you are single, you have so much freedom to do whatever you want. Like, if you want to go out on a Saturday night and not worry about anything, you can. If you want to travel the world, there's no one holding you back. Like, there are so many positives in that aspect. Like, you can literally do your life however you want to do your life, and being able to do that makes life so fun for that period of time. You don't know how long you've got being single. Like, I think that's something we also all forget. You don't know when single is going to end. You could be single now and think, oh, I'm going to be single forever, but in a month's to 3 months time, you could have met the man of your dreams. You don't know when he's coming. You don't know when she's coming, the woman of your dreams, if you're a guy, or if you're a girl, whatever floats your boat. You don't know when they're coming. So it's important to enjoy these single moments, because when you have met the person of your dreams, these will all be taken away and you'll forget what this is like. And you may at some point be like, oh, I did enjoy those moments. Like, oh, like, I miss those times when I just got to sit alone and I didn't have to worry about kids, or I didn't have to worry about my husband, or do you know what I mean? There are so many times when you're probably going to be like, oh, I miss that. Even though I'm so happy now, I miss those moments. Like, you won't get these solo moments again. So you've got to make the most of them and you've got to enjoy them as best you can. I know that it's not as easy, like, to do it as it is to say it, but it's something that, you know, you've got to try your best to enjoy and learn and love. And, you know, focus on yourself. And like I said, you don't have to worry about anyone else. All you have to worry about is yourself. All you have to worry about is what you're eating, what you're doing. You don't have to check anyone else's calendar. You don't have to worry about if you want to do a workout class last minute, you can. If you want to go out last minute, you can. You don't have to worry about, like, oh, does my calendar align with his calendar? Like, he's going to be home this weekend, so maybe I can figure it out. Oh, I'll do that next weekend. None of that. You can do life however you want to. For instance, I hung out with my friend Meg 2 weekends in a row, roughly, almost. It was like a Friday and then the following weekend. And I didn't need to see her 2 weekends in a row, but I had the opportunity to, so I was going to. Nothing was going to stop me at that point. I had nothing to hold me back, nothing to do on the weekends. So I was like, yeah. Then the next weekend I went home to see my parents. Again, I have nothing. I could do the things on the weekends that I just wholeheartedly love and enjoy, because all I have to worry about is myself. One of the most important things is that you don't have to worry about anyone's son. When you're single, you don't have to worry about someone's son. You don't have to worry about what he's doing, where he's going, if he's cheating on you, if he's going to text you back. How long is he going to take to text you back? Is he going to reply at all? Does he even like you? Are you overthinking? Probably. You don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to worry about someone's son. And if you are a guy or a girl, you don't have to worry about anyone's daughter. You don't have to worry about someone else. You don't have to worry. Do you know how annoying it is? I'm sure you all do. How, like, when you're texting someone and they're not replying, and you're like, oh my God, why is he not replying? And then he replies and you're like, oh. Or you see something on social media and you spiral because you're like, oh my God, he's dating other people, or I'm not like his ex, or he's not into me, like, he's liking all these girls' pictures. None of that. No worrying about if he's liking other girls' pictures. No worrying if he's texting other girls, dating other girls. Gone. Poof. Disappeared. Do you know how blissful that is? It's one of the most peaceful things to not have to worry about little things that the guy you're talking to might be doing. Because that in itself takes up a lot of brain capacity. You have a lot more space in your brain now, a lot more space to fill it with joy, positivity, good vibes, because that is what we want. We like the good vibes. We like the good feeling, the positive feeling. When we get to the point of meeting the man of our dreams, then we can deal with that kind of stress. Then we can deal with the texting and the worrying if he's going to reply and if he's texting other girls. Then we can deal with that. But now, pure bliss. Pure bliss. I'm here for the pure bliss, to be honest. Like, I actually, right now, living a really content, free, like, stress-free life. Apart from, like, work and things like that. But you know what I mean. Like, it's amazing. I love it. Talking of, like, you know, having a free mind, you have a clearer mind. So you also have the opportunity to be more clear with what you want, more, like, streamlined with what you want. Like, your mind is more clear. You can think straight. You're not worrying about other things. So when you're not worrying about other things, you kind of get the opportunity to just be like, okay, so going back to the first point, what do I want to do? Where do I want to go? You don't have things fogging your brain. And I think that is quite nice to have, because for the most part throughout life, when you do meet the man of your dreams, woman of your dreams, then you have kids and stuff, there's going to be a lot more things that will fog your brain. So now is a perfect opportunity to get straight and be, you know, where am I going? What am I doing? I need to sort this out. I've got the opportunity. Let's do it now. And if that is, you know, wanting to find the man of your dreams, you'll find the man of your dreams when you're supposed to. I currently am on a pause with the dating. I don't really have the time for it right now, because when I'm dating, I want to give the time to it. I want to be able to, like, text you and not be distracted and be able to incorporate it into my life. And right now, like, I've got quite a few things coming up in August, and in the middle of the gaps of where I'm not doing anything, that's when I need to focus on getting work bits done and catching up. And so, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like sometimes, you know, you don't necessarily, it's not a priority. And for me right now, it's not a priority, but I know come September, October, it will be something I'll be interested in again. And, you know, I know that's what I want. I know that's why I can't speak. That's why, oh my God, I can't get the words out. I know that's what I want to be doing, and that's when it's going to happen and when I'll start dating again. But right now, I'm focused on work and enjoying life and having the best rest of my summer. That made no sense. Enjoying the rest of my summer. Oh my God, honestly. It also means that you can take whatever is thrown your way. Like I said earlier, if traveling comes up and you have the opportunity to, if you have a trip, I have a work trip. This episode might be going live whilst I'm away, but I'm going to Copenhagen Fashion Week. If I was in a relationship, if I had already got plans, there may be a potential that I couldn't have gone to that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I literally could, as soon as I know that I could be going and that there was things coming up and it was an opportunity, I booked my tickets. No worry about if it was going to affect anyone else, or like, it was just solely focused on myself. And everything I've done and booked for August are things that are solely focused on myself, and I haven't had to worry about anyone else. And you know, you can literally take whatever gets thrown your way. If you do get a job opportunity where you can travel for 3-4 months, then you can take it, because it's something that, you know, you have the opportunity to just take it. Any opportunity you get whilst you're single that you could do and you wouldn't have to worry about anyone else, do it, because it's so freeing to be able to do things that you don't have to worry about anyone else. You don't know who you're going to meet along the way. And also, like, you might not be able to do these things so much when you are in a relationship, especially if you are, you know, getting married, having kids. Like, those kind of things make it a little bit harder to be able to go away and live a free life to the point where you can just take whatever comes your way. If you get the opportunity to live alone, with friends, like all of these things, like you might not get the opportunity to live with friends if you are in a relationship, and you know, then you live with him and you don't get the friendship living situation. I do think that it's good for every female to live with a friend, like friends or girls at some point, because it really teaches you a lot about what you'll deal with and how to deal with things, because girls can be bitchy. And I've lived with girls multiple times. When I was at uni and when I first moved to London, I've lived with girls, and it's obviously two different scenarios. Like, living at uni, you're wild, going out late, you're coming back late, you're like, you're growing up a lot. And then when you're living like more as an adult, it's different because you still have like a similar like going out and doing things kind of attitude, because that's what you do when you're going out and when you're, you know, in your early to late 20s, in your 20s. But it's like you've got a job, and it's very weird. It's like it's a different part of life, but it's still, and even if you were going into your 30s again, it'd be a different part of life. But it's something that, you know, you can take whatever comes your way, and being able to take whatever comes your way is such a amazing, like, lucky thing to be able to do. So grab it with open arms and take it. If something's coming your way and it's a good vibe and you're like, yeah, I want to do this, do it. There's nothing holding you back. Rolling back to what I was saying about living alone and having the opportunity to live alone. This time is the perfect time to enjoy your own company. Do things alone, take yourself on dates, spend time alone. Because a lot of us see being alone as being lonely. And actually, you can really flip it on its head and be like, do you know what? This isn't a lonely moment. This is a really good, exciting moment. Being able to do things alone and do things in your own company is honestly one of the best things. I'm such an advocate for it, because I think that if you can sit alone in your flat, your home, your room, wherever you are, and just enjoy yourself and just be like content, then you're living your best life, because you're doing things you enjoy. You're on your own, so you're making the most of the fact you're on your own. And, you know, sometimes it's great to just be sat there watching. I've been watching like Gossip Girl. It's now on Netflix. I've been watching it, and it's like I can sit and just keep watching it and keep watching the episodes. Nothing's stopping me. I'm enjoying it. Sometimes I'll then like maybe cook dinner, and I'm trying to enjoy cooking dinner again. I go in waves with cooking. I really don't love it, and then I love it, and then I hate it, and I love it. So I'm doing things by myself that I enjoy. There might be people along the way. If I go to Pilates, there's people in the class, but I'm doing it because I want to do it, and I'm doing it for myself. I'm not going there to meet other people and do things with other people, but the other people just happen to be there. So, you know, enjoy your own company. Find things that you love. Find things that you want to do, and just enjoy it, because it's amazing. Self-care becomes an absolute priority in this time, and that's what's amazing, right? Self-care is just the best thing, because you can focus on everything you want to do, from face masks to fake tan to doing your hair. All of these things is a priority, along with sleep. Do you know how good it is to have a good night's sleep, where you're not worrying about someone snoring next to you, if they're like sweaty, if they're like, I don't know, in the way, or what else do boys do? Just in your bed. I'm such a sleep in the middle kind of person. So if you're like edging my way, it's just nice. Starfishing in the bed is one of the best things ever. I mean, I don't actually starfish. Whenever I wake up, I'm still on the same side of the bed that I fell asleep in. But like, there's the opportunity to do it when you're trying to get comfortable in bed, you know? Like, you can starfish. Blissfully amazing. That don't make any sense, but you know what I mean. Another one is that you save money. You don't have to pay for anyone else. Do you know how that is? That is a good thing, actually, because no Christmas presents do you have to buy for a man. I've saved myself some money over the last couple of years, not having to buy Christmas presents, birthday presents, Valentine's gifts. I mean, granted, I buy myself these kind of things because obviously, but then that money that you would spend on someone else, you can give to yourself. You can spend on yourself. So it's like, it's a win-win. It's an absolute win-win. Being able to gift yourself instead of having to gift a man, that is a positive. That is a positive. Overall, you get a better understanding of who you are, what you want, where you want to go, and you just get to live life truly how you want to do it. And I think that is honestly such a good thing. And I don't know why we don't see being single is like a positive. There are so many elements that just make it amazing and make having like, it just makes life so good. You can be independent, you can do what you want, you can save your money, you can spend your money how you want, you can go away with friends, you can do whatever you want to do, travel, find the job you want to do. You can do everything with nothing holding you back. And I'm not saying that when you're in a relationship that they're holding you back, but when you have this time to be single, there are so many things you can do with it, and so many like amazing things that you can achieve and experience that potentially you wouldn't necessarily do if you were with someone, because maybe you would do it with someone. And I think that, you have every opportunity to enjoy it and have the best time and just living your truest you. So if you are single out there and you're feeling a bit worried or you're feeling a bit lonely or not feeling your best, just remember that the single time will pass. Eventually it will pass, and you'll be like, before you know it, you'll be in a relationship, and you'll be like, oh, I wish I'd kind of done that whilst I was single. I can't do this now because we're moving in together. Or do you know what I mean? There are so many things that change for the better, because when you're with someone, you get to enjoy life with them, and that's amazing. But when you are single, if you are single and you're just worried about it, enjoy it, embrace it, have a good time with it, because single life does end at some point, and you don't want to go through life with regrets. So enjoy it, have a good time, experience what you want to experience, date if you want to date. Like, I've been on a fair few dates. I've got some nice dating stories, all for my plot. They're all part of the plot, and it's great because when I'm older I can share them with my kids. They're stories, and that's what's great. Have single stories. I've got single stories from when I was at uni. I've got a lot of those single stories. I've got a lot of single stories from uni. And then I've got single stories from now. And then, I just think it's so nice. There's so many memories and things that you can experience. And I just think, see it as a positive. Lots of good things come when you're single, and you can really embrace and enjoy yourself. And that is the main thing. And I just want you guys to feel positive about it, because I don't want any of you sat there thinking that being single is hard or horrible. I mean, it is hard. I can't lie that it can be hard. But I don't want you to feel like you're any less of a person. You're amazing. You just haven't met your person yet. And also, don't feel like because you're the only single person that you are any less worthy, because you are amazing, and everything you want to achieve and the person of your dreams will come along. But right now is not your time. So embrace your singleness. When you're with your couple friends, appreciate what they have. Feel gratitude towards them. Like, enjoy their couples, and just look at them with awe, and appreciate them, celebrate their couples. Because when you get that opportunity, you want it back, and you want them to appreciate the person you're with. So celebrate them, enjoy them, see what they have as a positive, and look at it and be like, when I find my person, this is what it's going to be like. This is what I want. Because that is honestly going to be the best way to look at it. If you look at couples and your friends and people and be like, oh, I want that. Oh, why haven't I found one? You're looking at it in a negative way. You want to look at it and be like, oh, I love them together. They're my favorite. Like my friend Meg and her boyfriend, one of my favorite couples. Love them. My sister and her boyfriend, again, adore them. I love hanging out with them. I love hanging out with people that just are good vibes, and most of the people around me are good vibes. And I think that if you can appreciate the people around you and the love they have, we love love, then you can feel better about it, because you're just like, if they don't mind me third wheeling, then I'm here, I'm there, I'm ready, because you just want to feel happy for everyone. So yeah, remember, you've still got time to meet your person. You've still got time to find the woman, the man, whatever you want of your dreams. And just see singleton life as the best thing ever, because it will disappear eventually. And, being single's fun. Even if I do spend a lot of my time quite literally on my own in my flat. But you know what? I love it. One day it will disappear. One day I'll be living with a boy. I've lived with a boy before, but when I live with a boy again, I'm not going to have all the space for all my things and all my clothes and all my shoes, because my shoe shelf is packed and I don't really want to share it with anyone right now. So yeah, life's good. If you want to follow the podcast TikTok, please do. It's Still Got Time Podcast. There's also an Instagram, which is Still Got Time Podcast as well. If you want to follow me, my name is I Am Charlotte Olivia on all my social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I share a lot of my life, so if you want to know more about what I'm doing that's not fashion related, YouTube is the place to go. You can find a little bit more about what I'm up to. And yeah, always send me a message if you want to have a chat, or if you have any topic ideas for podcast episodes, let me know. Yeah. Also, please do give the podcast a 5-star rating if you can. I will love you forever. You're amazing. And I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.